This upcoming auction isn't a so-called full stop to the Sherney name. It is more about a reminder about my father's legacy and also the Sherney legacy. And in future, I will be doing more exhibitions. And as I mentioned before, finding young artists and nurturing them is really something I love to do and something I will continue to do. He was a self-taught artist, actually. He came from a very humble background. He left home when he was 14 or 15, and he started in the hotel business. And from there, he started to travel the world, and that's what brought him to Hong Kong. And he started in the antique business. That was his first personal business, and that was what got him to travel to China. And on one of his visits to China, he discovered artist studios, and he saw how there is so much creativity going on, but no representation outside of China. And that's when he decided to take the risk and to open a gallery. It was really his dream to always open a gallery. My father, he was a very loving father. He taught me how to enjoy life, but also work hard. And since a very young age, would travel to China and to visit the artist studios. And that I have very fond memories of. Every time he would go, it would be about 5 days, and we could see up to 20 to 30 artist studios.
Arrived in Beijing again, 31st of August 96, and look what I have to carry all the time.
He would, often bring materials, paint, catalogs into China and give it to the artist.
早期的这种对这种艺术的这种支持，我觉得是对一个艺术家来说，它意味着什么？就是确实是，就是完全就是说，他能够让你能够坚持下来。 所以挺感激你爸爸。
Yangzhou Bin's home, and I'm filming from now on. Everything will be filmed.
Dad could never really speak Chinese. Language was a barrier, but he was able to communicate with them, I think, through his humor and through his joy for life.
Excellent.
因为我们昨天的感冒。
The late 1990s, for example, he actually opened a restaurant. It also combined art. So there are a lot of paintings on the wall. He would invite the artists to come, and there would be food, there'd be wine. He also introduced to them cigars. So there were many, many nights of, having a good time. I think he really was lucky in a sense to meet those artists, the artists too, at a time when they were struggling financially and also artistically. And he gave them that platform to exhibit their artworks, not only in Hong Kong, but also overseas. There was also a catalog which he had published called The History of Chinese Oil, and that again was really first of its kind. It had introduced Chinese art to the Western market, and some of these artworks which were in the publication and exhibition will be auctioned as well. I think this selection of artworks are important because a lot of them have a historical context and background. A lot of them are from the 1990s when Chinese art wasn't on the mainstream and artists were really creating as a way to express themselves. For me, it's very hard to let go of these artworks. I think it's important that they're shared and that they go to a good home and become really, part of history.